Welcome back to ManaTutor MTG, where we open up all the vintage Magic boxes you've never been able to get your hands on. I got a couple of cool boxes to open up right here. Shouldn't be too long of a video, but while I open it up, I do want to talk a little bit about the inventory within Magic in terms of vintage product and kind of the lack thereof. So I did a lot of selling recently of my collection. I think you've seen some videos about that. And I probably sold more of my collection than I really wanted to. And so my collection is a bit diminished, which is fine. It means, it takes some time to build that back up, but I have capital to build that up. The problem is I do not see a whole lot of inventory available anywhere. People are not selling as much right now. It's not to say you can't go get any box. There are some that it's really hard to find particular boxes of. I mean, for example, one of the rarest that I've had was my Collector's Edition and International Collector's Edition boxes. Those, I can find some of them available, sealed ones, but they're quite hard to find. You can't always have those around. Same thing for the Dark and all the Four Horsemen boxes up. The Dark, you can usually find a box. Anything higher than that, though, it is really hard to find. Antiquities boxes, Legends boxes, any of that. Now, those are all kind of out of my price range anyway. Like, I could go and get one from everything that I sold, or, a couple of those. But they're expensive boxes. We're talking around, $60,000 for, a box of Antiquities. But when I'm talking about lack of inventory available, I don't just mean for those kind of boxes. I mean for boxes like these, which are smaller, more affordable boxes. So here's an example of one. Rise of the Eldrazi. It's not that easy to find a box of this. I mean, there are some for sale. Most of those that are able to be found easily. Again, this was bought from a private collection from somebody. But those that are readily available on, say, eBay or TCG Player, all that, they're not affordable prices for this box, especially given the market has come down some. I mean, again, I do see it coming back up, especially due to the lack of inventory. But yeah, this is, by the way, a really nice mint box. Both of these are supposed to be excellent condition, not even near mint. It's just mint. But it is hard to find boxes of that. Really anything. Your Odysseys, your Invasions, your Onslaughts. All these boxes. Even Fallen Empires is sneaking up there. There's plenty still available. And same for Ice Age. There's still plenty available, but they're harder to find at reasonable prices. And just in general, the inventory is lower, which is kind of causing that. I think people sold out of most of their vintage stuff, and those that have not sold are holding on to it because they expect the market to go up. So it doesn't make sense to sell right now. So we're kind of in that interim period of between the market crashed, people that needed inventory already sold out of it so that they have capital available and liquidity. And then now everybody's already sold, and it's just going back up a little bit. But still, nobody's looking to sell while prices are still relatively low compared to history. Now, by history, I mean the last several years when it obviously inflated very high. But still, there's not much available. Now, that's probably, prices are going to creep up as this inventory remains low, and will still be, as prices creep up, I'm sure inventory will loosen up. People will start selling again. But yeah, it's hard to find right now. So yeah, I was just putting you to the test on the back of the box if you knew what it was. It's original Zendikar box. Again, this should be complete mint condition. Looks good. Sometimes these are kind of interesting, boxes that have artwork like this, like these little bird things up here. Sometimes they look like splatter, from boxes that have been held in basements or in storage or etc. that haven't been treated well. Sometimes you'll get some residue on them or whatever. That's not what this is. That's the artwork. Yeah, good looking box though. But yeah, it's getting harder to find. So I'm hoping I can keep up my buying spree, which has kind of. I was on a spree, then it dipped down, and I think that was the start of the low inventory. And now I am finding it hard to find boxes. So for those that want the liquidity, it's not a horrible time to start putting your boxes up. I do think waiting a little bit, you'll get a little better deal. I do think we're about to be on the uptrend again. You've seen all the, not to the stock market is up, but it has been on a run over the last month or so. You see the Fed is signaling that they are going to be not raising rates as high. They just had a 0.25% raise of rates, which is lower than the 75 basis points that they had been raising in the past every time they met. And they indicated maybe there might be like one more raise, and then they're not sure after that. So this whole like beating inflation side of things slash money being very expensive to borrow is starting to die down, which means the market is likely to be creeping back up again. Now, we are at a point where a recession could, still in the mix, so we don't know exactly where it's going to go, but it's looking like the recession idea might be overblown. We are in some kind of a subdued market right now. I don't know what your definition of recession is, if it's 2 quarters of negative growth, or if it's, the government saying whatever, declaring what a recession is. It doesn't really matter. It's lower right now, but it's not that bad. It does suck. There's a bunch of layoffs happening, etc., in the tech industry, especially, and it's expanded into other industries. But unemployment remains low, so it seems like now it might take another report of unemployment to see this, but a lot of those layoffs are getting new jobs, right? So jobs seem available. With that, not expecting to have like a hard crash, but probably this whole soft landing that's going on. The reason I say all this, it matters for the value of your boxes. I mean, it does correlate to what the economy and the market is doing. And like I said, I started to see the beginning of a bit of a rise in the market, and I was wondering if that was going to plateau and then fall again, which happens. But I don't know the future. This is not financial advice. Don't bet it all on me. But I do see the beginnings of what are going to be another mild run. Don't expect the 2020 run up to happen again. We're not going to get back into that balloon territory anytime soon. But I do think the prices are coming up now. So give it another 6 months. I think you'll see more inventory then. I think we are kind of going to be at a low of inventory for the next while. My time frame on that, I don't have a high confidence. That's just my estimate. Then again, in 6 months, well, what are we hitting? We're right now into February, so that would be the August time period, which is usually somewhat slow for Magic. So maybe you need to wait until September, October for kind of the getting into the fall period where we see a bit more of an uptrend. But yeah, for those sticking out for the long run, continue doing your 5 to 10 years holding onto boxes. I mean, you do need them to appreciate. But for those who have been sitting their boxes on for several years, you might have another opportunity, in my point, to make a profitable exchange come fall of 2023 or so, would be my best guess. So anyway, in the meantime, I'm trying to buy while the prices are low if the inventory is available. And yeah, keep on the lookout for deals, guys. Appreciate it. See you next time. Bye-bye.